God, you are. Oh, you are. You are, you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. God, you are my peace. Peace is what you are. God, you are my love. Love is what you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. My joy, my peace, my love. My joy, my peace, my love. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. Yeah. God, you are my peace. Oh, peace is what you are. God, you are my love. Oh, love is what you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. My joy, my peace, my love. My joy, my peace, my love. God, you are my strength. Strength is what you are. God, you are my help. Oh, help is what you are. And God, you are my life. And life is what you are. God, you are my joy. And joy is what you are. You are my joy, my peace, my love. 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 God, you are my joy. Oh, yeah, yeah. Na, 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 na. God, you are. Oh, you are. You are, you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. God, you are my peace. Peace is what you are. God, you are my love. Love is what you are. you are. Yeah, God, you are my peace. Oh, peace is what you are. God, you are my love. Oh, love is what you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. My joy, my peace, my love. My joy, my peace, my love. God, you are my strength. Strength is what you are. God, you are my help. Oh, help is what you are. And God, you are my life. And life is what you are. God, you are my joy. And joy is what you are. You are my joy, my peace, my love. 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 God, you are my joy. Oh, yeah, yeah. Na, 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 na. God, you are. Oh, you are. You are, you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. God, you are my peace. Peace is what you are. God, you are my love. Love is what you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. My joy, my peace, my love. My joy, my peace, my love. God, you are my joy. God, you are. Oh, you are. You are, you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. God, you are my peace. Peace is what you are. God, you are my love. Love is what you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. My joy, my peace, my love. My joy, my peace, my love. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. Yeah. God, you are my peace. Oh, peace is what you are. God, you are my love. Oh, love is what you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. My joy, my peace, my love. My joy, my peace, my love. God, you are my strength. Strength is what you are. God, you are my help. Oh, help is what you are. And God, you are my life. And life is what you are. God, you are my joy. And joy is what you are. You are my joy, my peace, my love. My joy, my peace, my love. My Hello, hello. Happy Sunday, beautiful people. It is so very good to be here with you as we gather together today for the weekend service here at Celebration Spiritual Center, where we celebrate the magnificence of the presence and power of God operating in, through, and as you, operating in, through, and as each and every one of us. As we begin this service, we begin by grounding ourselves in truth. I'm going to be sharing a portion of a reading from 365 Days of Richer Living, and we will take that reading into our opening prayer. The affirmation, I am free to express all that God is. I'm going to affirm that again. I am free to express all that God is. In the realm of mind, there are no limitations save those which are self-imposed. In our everyday living, we seem bound by time, space, and money. Often, our health limits our living freely, or our hurts and pride keep us from pleasant experiences. Freedom begins and ends All right. Hello, y'all. I am so sorry. Um, well, I believe that the spirit of the prayer will be felt and heard. We are so grateful and thankful to be here with each and every one of you on this morning. We are so grateful to be here with you this Sunday, knowing that all is well and all will be well. I'm Pastor Greg.
I'm Pastor Yolanda.
And again, we're happy to be here with you on this Sunday as we gather together to celebrate the magnificence and significance of the presence and power of God operating in, through, and as each and every one of us. If you are a first-time guest, hello, welcome. We are so happy that someone or something brought you here to Celebration Spiritual Center, brought you here to this live stream, brought you here to the weekend service, and we're confident that something will be done, something will be said that will support you in having a empowering experience here at Celebration Spiritual Center, but also thriving in your life based on what you hear, what you learn, and what you experience. Now, as a first-time guest, we would love to stay in touch with you. And so the information you see here on your screen is how you access your digital connection card. So just text the keyword welcome to that phone number, 347-472-1078. Just the keyword to that phone number, and you'll receive a reply with a link, which will take you to the digital connection card. Click that link, enter your information. We just need your name and your email address. Submit that, and then you're all set. You'll receive another text that says you're all set, and at that point, you'll be on our mailing list. You'll receive all the information that we send out to the community. We have a weekly newsletter that goes out every Friday, and of course, you can reply to any of those emails if you'd like to get in touch with us. But most importantly, we're happy that you're here. We love to say that the first time you come to CSC, you're a guest, but when you come back, you're family. So welcome to the CSC family. You can feel free to shout yourself out in the comments. You may have seen others have already done that, letting us know where you're connecting in from, your city, your state, your country, because you may find that there is someone connected in that same place that you are right here and right now. So from this place of awareness, this is a wonderful opportunity for us to move forward with our news and updates so that we can get into the meditation, the music, and the message. Got big questions? Well, we want you to bring those big questions to the God Talk. It is the third Sunday, which means it is God Talk Sunday. What is the God Talk? It is your opportunity to ask questions. It is your opportunity to learn how to apply New Thought metaphysical principles to the real experiences of your life. It is also your opportunity, if you are newer to New Thought and newer to these teachings of metaphysics, you may come up against many things that you once believed or once held to be true, or you may be trying to reconcile some of those things. And that's what this space is for. We're happy to support you in those questions because we've been there, yes. Right? And one of the things that we're happy to be able to do is to shorten that amount of time that it takes in that reconciliation, to shorten the amount of time it takes in that unlearning, so that you can live freely and fully in the power and liberation of these teachings. Additionally, you may have been immersed in these teachings for quite some time, but what I know to be true is that things are always showing up in our lives, and we're always learning anew how to apply these principles. And so wherever you feel stuck, wherever you feel challenged, you can ask the question. We're happy to support you. No question is off limits, but you got to be in the space to ask the question. The God Talk is real, it is raw, and it is full of love. If you join us, I guarantee you will leave better. Even if you don't ask a question, you may find that someone else asks a question that speaks to something that's happening in your life right now. In order to be in the God Talk, you got to have the Zoom link and passcode that is shared with everyone on our mailing list in the Friday email. So you can go to that email and get the information. You can also join the Church Center app. The information is there. If you are a first-time guest, when you join the mailing list today, then you'll receive an email after you join the mailing list. Check your inbox and you'll get the Zoom link and passcode there. So we look forward to everyone being with us today at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the God Talk. We encourage you to invite a friend to join us for service online, to join us live. CSC is always growing via word of mouth. We are looking for those that are looking for us and what we're about. So send them a link to the live stream. Send them a link to a past sermon, to a meditation, to the music. Let them know what CSC is all about. And then invite them to join us live any Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you have a prayer request, we encourage you to send that prayer request in to prayerchampions@celebrationsc.org. We are always holding the entire community in our hearts and our minds, knowing the highest and best for each and every one of you. And we recognize that you may have a specific prayer request, or you may want to submit a prayer request on behalf of someone else. Send it in to prayerchampions@celebrationsc.org. And when your prayer is answered, when the shift happens, when there's a miracle, when there's a prosperity report, we encourage you to send that in to the same email address, prayerchampions@celebrationsc.org. Let us know how prayer is working in, through, and as your life. On Wednesday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we all gather together for the Momentum Prayer Call. The Momentum Prayer Call is an absolutely wonderful way to continue the momentum that we create here on Sundays, and also to jumpstart the momentum in your day at the beginning of your day by putting the focus of your attention on what is true, what is eternal, and letting that then dictate the remainder of your day and the remainder of your week. So again, we gather together on Wednesdays at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We share a reading, we pray, we move on with our day. We also record every prayer, so you can use that playback number you see on your screen, enter the access code and wait, and the most recent prayer will play. That means that our community, all of CSC, has access to the words of prayer, the vibration of prayer 24/7 at any point in time. If you find yourself challenged, at any point in time, if you find yourself starting to be convinced by the false words of fear, doubt, and worry, come to this playback number, listen to the prayer, listen to the words of truth, and let it shift your mind so that you can begin to have a new and different experience. Our study series of the month is The Miseducation of the Metaphysician. You can go to our YouTube channel. It's available on the homepage of our YouTube channel to watch that series. It is a powerful series taught by myself and PY, recognizing that many of us have been miseducated in terms of who and what we really are. If you think you're just the flesh and blood human, you're more than that. If you think you are your culture, you are more than that. If you think you are anything that anyone else has said about you, you are more than that. And so it's important for us to know the truth of our being. And that is then when we begin to live from a place of power, when we understand that we're worthy, and more and more and more. So this sermon series is very powerful. We encourage you to check it out. Again, it's available on our YouTube channel, the homepage of our YouTube channel. Registration is open for the Affirmative Prayer Mastermind. You can use the QR code that you see there on your screen to get to the registration page, or you can go to celebrationsc.org/register. Through this class, you will learn the proven prayer method that is helping people manifest money, healing, clarity, love, and peace. In just 4 weeks, you'll learn how to use a one-sentence prayer formula that instantly aligns with your desire. You'll learn how to stop begging and start declaring with power. You'll understand why your prayers seem delayed and how to fix it. You'll discover what's really been blocking your good and how to remove it. You'll tap into community-powered prayer that multiplies your results. And it happens in just 4 weeks, one night a week, real results live online with me. It starts November 5th, and the investment is only $97. Again, you can go to celebrationsc.org/register, or you can use the QR code, which will take you directly to the registration page. I'm looking forward to you all joining us. You heard the powerful share last week. Powerful things happen as a result of being willing to invest in yourself and the mastermind via prayer. For those that missed the webinar last Sunday or this past Wednesday, the replay is available. You can go to celebrationsc.org/register. How to manifest your best year ever without a vision board, hustle, or guessing what you want. It is an awesome webinar. Folks have already begun doing the work of creating their best year ever, and I'm excited for them. And I want as many people as possible to tap into this vibration and understand what is absolutely possible. So please, the webinar is free. Go to that link and watch it this week. No distractions, no algorithm, just connection. Download the Church Center app and join the CSC Live group. It is important to myself and PY that there is a space for each and every one of you to connect outside of the live stream. And this is what's available in the Church Center app. We are sharing throughout the week and connecting throughout the week, and it's been awesome, and it continues to grow. You can go to celebrationsc.churchcenter.com/setup to download the app, or you can go to the App Store, the Google Play Store, or you can use this QR code, and that will take you directly to the download so that you can be a part of the community outside of Sundays. Every fourth Sunday is Healing Sunday. That means that next Sunday is Healing Sunday, and I'm very excited about next Sunday. I'm very excited about the healing that is already taking place within our community. Prayer works, and it is working at CSC. Please keep your eyes and ears open. We will be sharing another submission form for you to submit names of those in need of prayer, as we did last week. You'll be able to share their name and their location, and we will speak their names before we move into prayer next Sunday. So those that are on the mailing list, keep your eyes open for that email that goes out. We will also share it in other ways. We'll text it out. We'll post it in the Church Center app. We'll post it on social media so that you can put your name or the name of your loved one in so that we can speak their name and know they are healed. And so that concludes our news and updates for this Sunday, which means it is now time to go within. And we will be led in the meditation experience with PY.
Yes, it is time for the meditation experience. Our opportunity to go within, to let go of what has taken our focus away from the truth during the week, to let go of any idea that would keep us separate in our understanding and in our relationship to the truth, to just breathe in the awareness that there is nothing in opposition to the truth that is God, that God is the goodness that we all are, that we are expressions of that goodness, and that every part of our bodies are in rhythm with that goodness. The meditation experience is the opportunity that we get to share together, but it's always available to you to come back to. It's our opportunity to stop, to remember, to breathe, to align, and to allow whatever you call God to be God alive within you, to be connected to it, to be flowing with it, to be in complete vibration with it. And this month's affirmative thought is a beautiful reminder of how easy it is to be in vibration with it. My heart is beating in the peace of God. I don't have to force my heart to beat in the peace of God. The very understanding that as my heart is beating, the peace of God is vibrating. As my heart is beating, the peace of God is flowing. As my heart is beating, my movements flow with that peace. My heart is beating in the peace of God. Not thinking about what it used to do, not thinking about what it might do, but honoring and feeling that my heart, your heart, our hearts are beating in the peace of God. I don't have to rely on my own peace. I'm not relying on myself to make my heart beat. My heart is beating in the peace of God. So let's bring our palms to the tops of our thighs. Let's bring ourselves upright in a seated position, feet on the floor, seated upright in a chair, on a sofa, but seated upright. And take a second and just look around the room. Notice where you are, not in the past, worried, and not in the future, ruminating about what might happen that would take you outside of your peace. Your heart is beating in the peace of God right here and right now. From this place of awareness, let's allow our eyelids to close. And this simple, easy act of closing the eyelids takes our focus inward, and we follow the path of breath and beating heart. And whether the breath appears to be deep or shallow, it matters not. We make no judgment of the breath. We just sit in complete gratitude for it, appreciation and joy, knowing that the breath is flowing and that the heart is beating in the peace of God. Now let's take conscious control of the breath, for it is ours to do so. We allowed it to move as it did, and now we allow it to move as we choose. Let's take the breath deep into the low belly. We're going to inhale for a count of 4. We're going to hold for 4. And then we're going to relax the jaw. Release the breath for a count of 4. And then sink deep into this peace that we've been talking about. As the heart continues to beat, we drop deeper into the peace. So let's begin. Inhale for a count of 4. Hold the breath for 4. Relax the jaw. Release the sound. Sigh it out for 4. And sink deeper and deeper and deeper into the peace for 4. Inhale, nice deep breath for 4. Hold for 4. Relax the jaw. Let yourself hear and feel the release as you sigh it out. And now sink deeper and deeper, letting nothing stop your peace. In through the low belly, now up through the rib cage, expanding the breath, allowing it to rise. Hold for 4. Relax the jaw. Let yourself feel the release. Sigh it out. And settle in. Enjoy your peace as you sink deeper and deeper and deeper. In through the low belly, up through the rib cage. We've expanded the sides of the body. Now send that breath to meet your love and support in the back and in the front. Hold for 4. Relax the jaw. Release the sound and anything that would prevent you from feeling how good it feels in this moment. Sigh it out. Sinking deeper in mind, consciousness, and peace. In through the low belly, up through the rib cage, connecting the breath, realizing how much room you have to breathe deeply and allowing the breath to rise to the heart chakra, center of the chest. Hold for 4. Relax the jaw without strain or pressure. Release the sound. Sigh it out. Nothing can stop your peace. Sink deeper and deeper and deeper. Dropping the breath deep, inhaling, expanding, allowing the breath to rise to the heart. And holding for 4. When you're ready, relax the jaw, release it all, sigh it out. You know where to go. Drop into the peace, sinking deeper and deeper. Beautiful, everyone. Now, we can slow it down and feel even more peace as we slow the breath down. We give our body permission to receive the peace. We're going to inhale through the nostrils for a count of 6. We're going to hold for 6. And then we're going to close the lips and exhale through the nostrils for 6. And then enjoy the peace for 6. Let's begin. Inhale. Close the lips and hold. And now exhale through the nostrils for 6. And sink deep into the peace, sinking deeper and deeper as the heart continues to beat for 6. Let's take a few rounds of this deep inhale into the nostrils, holding, closing the lips and exhaling through the nostrils. Your nervous system is ready to receive this peace. Take a few rounds here. Last round here. Feels good on the inside. But if you notice anywhere that there's still tension, it's okay. Send the breath there. Is there any tension in the temples maybe? Send the breath there and relax across the forehead and the temples. Is there tension in the throat? Relax the throat. Sending that relaxation and encouragement of peace down the shoulders, down the arms, out the fingertips. Noticing it that it wants to flow down the body. Peace wants to fill you, your beating heart, your breath, and your body. Let it do so now. I will monitor the time. You take the inward experience. And if the mind wanders, it is perfectly okay. We judge it not. When we become aware, we lovingly, gently, compassionately bring it back to our affirmative thought and the breath, and let that wash over us as we sink deeper again in our awareness, in our body, in our current position here on earth. We remember that my heart is beating in the peace of God. Your heart is beating in the peace of God. Our hearts are beating in the peace of God now. With our eyelids still closed, we take the mental picture. We observe how good it feels on the inside right now. We remember that each heartbeat brings more peace, not less. We remember that each breath is infused with more strength, more God, more good. We remember that we can return to this truth anytime we choose by simply closing the eyelids, noticing, allowing the breath, and giving peace permission to beat as our heart beats. Let's start to bring ourselves back into these bodies, these altars to the divine. Maybe we wiggle the fingers and the toes in remembrance that there is connection throughout the body, that there is peace and movement, and that our hearts are beating in the peace of God. Stop the movement and bring the palms to the tops of the thighs. Inhale, draw the shoulders up by the ears. Exhale as we release the shoulder blades back, nice and easy, and down. Inhale, full breath, shoulders up by the ears. Exhale, releasing the shoulder blades back and down. Last time, inhale, full smooth breath, shoulders up by the ears. Exhale, as we release the shoulder blades back, pausing there, noticing. Exhale, releasing them down. Bring the palms together at heart center. touching the thumbs into the sternum. And if you are able, bow the chin towards the fingertips in honor of this connection, this beating heart, and the peace that is always available. Allow the eyelids to gently open, finding a soft focal point. Inhale, raise the chin, raise the gaze, release the breath. Maintain the peace. Namaste.
Yes, yes. Namaste. Thank you, PY.
You're welcome.
Well, we are in the third week of our 12 weeks. No, the third week. We are in the third week of this month. It is a 3-part series, a 12-part series, Miracle Minded, the 12 Conditions of a Miracle. And I'm really excited about today's message. But of course, before we get into the message, we're going to get into the music. We'll hear from Soul 21, and then I will meet you on the other side with today's message, See Something Better. I'll see you in a minute.
I invite you to hear the words of this song and put your hands together for Will Palin, Will Stone. Stop walking around here unprepared. Stop being scared. Stop doing all the crazy things you do. That ain't you. Stop wasting precious time you have complaining about your circumstance, believing that you're what you're going through. That ain't you. Don't you remember who you are? Don't you remember? And even after all this time, please tell me why you don't know what you're here to do. Did you know that when I made you, you were pure love? Did you know that when I made you, you were whole? Did you know that you were made from pure divinity? The true mystery to unfold. Fill your heart with love, let go of hate. Focus your mind and meditate. Create yourself and start your life anew. And I guarantee the moment that you do, you'll introduce yourself to you. Did you know that when I made you, you were pure love? Did you know that when I made you, you were whole? Did you know that you were made from pure divinity? A true mystery unfold. Share your world and don't you hesitate. Focus your mind and meditate. Create yourself and start your life anew. And I guarantee the moment that you do, you'll introduce yourself to you.
Yes. Love has spoken. Shout out to my good brother from Chicago, Kahari Lemuel, who wrote that powerful song, Love Has Spoken. I encourage you, you can stream it and download it because it is a powerful tune. Thank you to Soul 21 and to Will and David for bringing us that. It is so wonderful to be here with each and every one of you. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. It is good, and of course, getting better and better all the time. I would love to hear from you all, and you can shout yourself out. We have the post there in the comments, your victory shout out today, big or small. What is one win that you're celebrating today? I see that some of you have already shared some of those things. I think it's always wonderful to hear and see the good that is happening in the community, that is happening worldwide in the CSC community. And so shout out the good that is happening. Shout out one win, whether you consider it big or whether you consider it small, that you're celebrating this week, because we recognize that power flows where attention goes. So whatever you're putting your attention on and celebrating, you're magnifying it. That means you're multiplying it. That means that more of that can and will show up in and as your life. Well, I'm excited about today's message, and I trust, it is my prayer that what I'm feeling and what I've been feeling in the preparation for this, that it will translate. And that you will also feel it and, of course, be expanded as a result of it. So I would love if you would just join me now in our centering prayer, and then we will move forward with the message. I welcome the Spirit of truth into my mind and let it grow in my heart. Thank you, God, in, through, and as me. Amen. Ashe. And so it is. And so it is. Well, again, we've been moving through this wonderful series, The 12 Conditions of a Miracle. And this month we started with the 5th condition, which was giving. That sermon was giving should always feel good. And I outlined the very simple formula of giving. Give to God, give to yourself, give to others. And we outlined what giving looks like in ways that are beyond just financial giving. And recognizing that so often we give to God in certain ways, but we tend to skip over ourselves and jump right to giving to others. But that's actually impossible, right? You give to God in the sense that you are investing in this relationship, this connection, to remember that you are more than your body, to remember that you are a spiritual being having a human experience, right? That's what that giving to God is about, right? All of that is rooted in that, in the recognition of source that is your source. Then it is out of that connection, out of that relationship, that you experience overflow. You're giving to yourself, and out of that overflow, then you give to others. Last week, sit down somewhere. We looked at the 6th condition, which is grounding. And I asked you to write it down in your notes. I know I am prepared for my miracle when I am present. And so the next step and the next piece that we must practice in these conditions of a miracle is getting present. And it is only out of being present that miracles come forth, right? So often we've been taught, and I talked about it last week, we live in this society that glorifies being busy. We live in this way of thinking and being that suggests that activity is somehow the indication of whether we're doing well or not, or activity is the way that we get to our dreams, our goals, our vision, our miracle. But it's actually a requirement that we get present and learn how to and know how to get and tap into the present moment. And so we talked a lot about that. There were some powerful things that were shared there. But now we get into the 7th condition, the next condition, which is so closely related to last week, right? So we're going to be talking a little bit more about grounding as we talk about this next condition. And so I want to take us straight back to the Alpha passage. If you're joining us for the first time, the Alpha passage is Matthew 14. It's the story of the loaves and fishes where Jesus feeds the 5,000 plus women and children according to the story. And this Alpha passage is not just a passage or a story to share how wonderful Jesus is and to prove that Jesus is a miracle worker. But it is actually a demonstration of how to work miracles in, through, and as our own lives. And so that's what this series is really all about, is breaking out those 12 things. So last week we looked at part A of Matthew 14, verse 19, just part A. And what was that? Then he ordered the crowds to sit down on the grass. And that portion, part A of that verse, is about grounding. It's about getting present. What that symbolizes is the reality that for us is that we must prepare for our miracle by getting into the present moment, right? It's not about action and activity. And so then the second part of that verse, part B, is taking the 5 loaves and 2 fish, he looked up to heaven. So we have the first part, grounding, get present. He ordered the crowds to sit down on the grass. The second part, taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, he looked up to heaven. So that's the action step, right? Again, so often we want to spring into action, but no, we got to get present first. It's not that we don't take action, we take inspired action. But this action step is very interesting and very specific. Looked up to heaven is the action step. Now, like the order in part A of the verse to sit down on the ground, one could easily dismiss and overlook Jesus's action. He asked the people to sit down on the ground, right? And as I said last week, you could read that and be like, oh, they're preparing for dinner, right? It was nighttime. The disciples said they need to eat. They found some food. We know Jesus is powerful and can work miracles. So he was like, sit down and I'm gonna feed y'all, right? But that's not what that sit down was about. Now, recognizing that, then the other part, we could say, oh, well, him taking the fish and looking up to heaven. Oh, well, Jesus just said grace. We all do that. We bless the food. We acknowledge God before we eat, right? And, if you grew up in a household like I grew up, we said grace for food, before we ate. And so you might just simply see that moment through that lens, like, oh, they sat down at the table and now they're saying grace, because that's what you do. And in that case, you would think nothing more of it, right? You would almost think that this is just a transitory sentence to get to the meat, right? To get to the real thing, the miracle. But as I said last week, knowing we are unpacking this miracle story as a code of instructions for miracle workers, we must look at every detail as intentional and deliberate. No moment is wasted and no moment is trivial. So just as ordering the crowd to sit down in the grass is a practice of the sixth condition, grounding, to get present and prepare for the miracle, looked up to heaven is a practice of the seventh condition, visualizing. Now, how do we get there? What in the world does looked up to heaven, right? Taking the fish and loaves and looking up to heaven, what does that have to do with visualizing? Right? Because I know you all know what visualizing is, right? We're admonished to visualize all the time. And many of you, if not most of you, have visualized something in your life and it has come into being. You've used that practice. So in what way, in what world is this indicating visualizing or visualization? And so, of course, in order to understand it, we must look underneath the English translation, which does not tell us everything that is actually going on. We must look to the Greek words that were then translated into English. So again, the action step, looked up to heaven, that is the seventh condition, visualizing. And so in English, we have looked up. Those two words, looked up, it is translated from the Greek. And the Greek word is anablepo. Anablepo. Okay. And this word anablepo is very interesting because when you look at the definition, first it says to look up. But as you read more about anablepo and read more about this definition, you find that that's an oversimplification. Anablepo means to look up, to regain sight, to see again, to recover sight, to receive sight. To look up, to regain sight, to see again, to recover sight, to receive sight. And one of the things that's very interesting, and this happens all the times with these translations, this word anablepo is not the first and only time that it appears in the text, right? Or in the text in the sense of the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Right. And so if it was just appeared once and then just translated that way, we would have to think that is what it is. It just means to look up, right? To look up. But what's interesting is that we find the same word anablepo used throughout the Gospels and also in Acts, or the Acts of the disciples. And we see it specifically used over and over again when the blind were healed and received or recovered their sight. So in some ways, I think it's almost incredibly lazy in terms of the translators simply using look up, when we see clearly that anablepo is not just indicating looking up, it's indicating seeing and seeing again, but not just seeing again, recovering something and receiving something that is, but that is not seen or experienced in the physical in that moment. So the English translation of look up leads us away from what is being demonstrated. What does it mean in this context then to regain sight, to receive sight, or to see again? It means that in that moment, Jesus tapped into the practice and power of visualization. This was a moment of visualization. And so the seventh condition is telling us that you have to see it before you see it. What does it mean in this context to regain sight, to receive sight, to see again? It means you have to see something better. Get present, grounding, then see something better. Visualize. And so this is why this verse is a part A and a part B to this verse. You got to get present because you can't visualize if you're not present. Right? This is something that I'm working with the folks in Multi-Manifestor Mastery on as we're learning the affirmation codes. And one of the things that I share is how to actually program your mind for affirmations. People just be out here affirming stuff. I am this and I am that. I am worthy. I am powerful. I am prosperous. And that's nice and that's cute. But it actually doesn't have much power if you are not properly programming it. And the way that you properly program affirmations to actually make them work, to actually have them stick into your subconscious mind is one through repetition. But it's not just about repetition. You actually have to get present. And so I encourage all of you, if you want to use affirmations or you have an affirmation that you really love and you want to make the truth of your life, take some deliberate time to stop. Get present. Use a breathing technique. Set your watch for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Breathe with eyes closed and then affirm whatever that truth is. And that's neuroscience, y'all, right? That's how you can impress your subconscious mind. For our yogis out there, yoga nidra, that whole process, that's what that's about. You go through that process that then puts your mind in a place that's receptive for autosuggestion. Right? Then you can start to implant those ideas that are good, those seeds that are beneficial. Okay, so get present, then you can see something better. And so at that very moment, it's important to understand this. At that very moment, the 5 fish and 2 loaves looked like lack. At that very moment, the 5 fish and 2 loaves looked like not enough. And yet the spiritual reality is all sufficiency. The spiritual reality is all needs met at every level of life, right? The spiritual reality is unending supply. And so knowing that his human sight cannot show him the spiritual reality, Jesus closed his outer eye and opened his inner eye. He knew that he needed to see again. He knew that he needed to recover his sight. He needed to see something better. Take a breath. I want you to take that in. Because this is the piece that many of you have been skipping, missing, or didn't realize you needed to be practicing. I use this example all the time. It's so important, right? If you were looking on the mirror and you saw something on your face that you wanted to change, you wouldn't touch the mirror. Right? You would go to your face, which is the source of the reflection. And that's what you're doing when you're choosing to see something better in this moment. There's the miracle that you want to experience. Whatever you're seeing with your eyes that's what you want to change. So if you keep looking at that, that's only going to reinforce what you don't want. And so visualizing, get present, close the outer eye, open the inner eye, and see again. Open the inner eye and regain your sight. Open the inner eye and recover your sight. Recover your sight to remember all sufficiency, to remember all needs met, to remember unending supply. But what about the second part of that verse, right? Because it says, looked up to heaven. This verse says he looked up to heaven. And of course, most people will read that. And definitely the Christian traditionalists will read that. Oh, yeah, he looked up to heaven, right? This place with the streets of gold, right? He looked up to where God supposedly lives. But again, we must look at the Greek word that was translated into English. And the Greek word that was translated is Uranus. Now, what's so interesting about this, as I said earlier, we find that these words appear over and over and over in the gospel, and I've preached on this in the past. Uranus is the Greek word that's used when we hear Jesus and John the Baptist preaching, "Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand." Uranus is at hand, right? And so, of course, understanding the Greek cosmology and understanding and perspective at that time, Uranus referred to an abundance of things, right? It could be the air, right? It could be the sky. So just in as much as heaven was used, it was not being used in the sense of streets of gold, right? This place, sweet by and by place, right? It wasn't being used in that way, right? It would almost be better if it had said he looked up to the heavens, right? The air, the sky, according to the understanding, Greek understanding at that time, it would be considered the abode of God, right? Again, not in the sense of the home of God in that traditional sense of heaven, but just that God, the all in all, resides beyond humanity, right, in this place. But as we look even further into the definition, we find that Uranus also indicates to rise up or rear up through the idea of elevation. To rise up or rear up through the idea of elevation. And finally, we also read that Uranus indicates happiness, power, and eternity. So this is already interesting. Many of you, I'm sure, are familiar. So often, and you've heard me say this, so often in New Thought, and particularly speaking to this particular miracle story and others, anytime there's a rising up that you see in Scripture, in New Thought, biblical interpretation, that is always talked about as rising up in consciousness. And that's absolutely true, right? And I think that's a simplification, right? It's a simplification because of what we're talking about now, that we recognize that looking up, it's more than just rising up, right? It's moving your mind, your thoughts, and attention to source, but also recognizing that it is from that place that you regain, recover sight, and you see again. And then this rising up through or rear up through the idea of elevation. So you're elevating yourself above and beyond what you see. Right? And metaphysics is that which is beyond what is physical, right? And that's why we practice as metaphysicians. It's important that we understand how to get beyond the physical and also how to live in that space so that we can then manipulate the physical, right? And change the physical. And so this same word, Uranus, it's the same word that's used for the primordial Greek god of the sky, Uranus, or Uranus, as we would say in English. And in the Greek mythology, the primordial gods are the origin of all existence, right? Since I was a kid, I've always been a big fan of Greek mythology. And so Uranus precedes the Olympian gods, right? So you like Zeus and Athena and all of those folks, right? Uranus is before them, right? Because in the cosmology, again, the primordial is like the origin, the source of all. And so that's who Uranus is, one of those primordial gods, the origin of all existence. So by invoking the name Uranus, right, to look up to Uranus, to look up to heaven, to rise up in elevation to that space, we're elevating our mind to the highest reality. We're elevating our minds to our eternal reality. We're elevating our minds to the absolute seat of power. Some call it God. It's the absolute seat of power. Some call it the all in all. It's the absolute seat of power. Some call it the universe. It's the absolute seat of power. Some call it divine intelligence. It is the absolute seat of power. Some call it Mother, Father, God. It is the absolute seat of power. Whatever you call it, it is important that you recognize that in visualization, you must rise up in consciousness, in your own mind, your own thinking, to the seat of power. Not just the thought of power, but the seat of power. So this then tells us that the way we see something better is by elevating our minds to the place of power, where we will receive sight. Because as I said earlier, the spiritual reality is all sufficiency. The spiritual reality is all needs met. The spiritual reality is unending supply. But our physical eyes don't show us that. Our physical experience doesn't show us that. The news doesn't show us that. The conversations at work by the water cooler don't show us that. The conversations that people are having at the bus stop don't reflect that. The stuff that people are posting on social media don't reflect that. And so it's important that we understand that if there's a miracle that we are seeking to express and co-create, if there's something that we want to bring into being, our dreams, our goals, our plans, our desire, we must see something better. Seeing something better means elevating our minds to a place of power where we will receive, regain, recover sight, where we will see again. To see something better, we must rise up in consciousness and see life as it can be, not as it appears to be. To see something better, we must close our eyes to the external, turn to the eternal, and see again. To see something better, we must look up to heaven. To see something better, to practice this seventh condition, is far beyond the popular uses of visualization that we see, and you could easily Google. To practice this seventh condition, you put your eyes on source, on what is eternally true, then see the outcome in your mind's eye. And what's interesting about that, seeing the outcome in your mind's eye, this does not have to take long. One of the things that I always teach related to visualization is get in and get out. Right? And people try to spend way too much time, imagining and visualizing, and then they get they go off, right? You get on a tangent somewhere, right? And we're going to talk about something that's very practical related to that when you start to veer off. But this is also then where you have to go back to the third condition. And this is why all of these conditions start to interrelate, because that's really the point, right? These are conditions, not steps. Right. And so the goal is to begin to embody all of these conditions as a way of life. So the first condition of emptiness is very important, because if you're not practicing emptiness and making that depth connection with that which is transcendent, that which is beyond what we can see, taste, touch, or smell, tapping into and connecting to source on a daily basis, you're not going to be able to get present. Right, which is the sixth condition. But going back to the third condition, the essence of your dream. Right, what did I say in that sermon? Quoting Abraham Hicks. Right, that the universe responds to the vibrational essence of your dream. It's the thing under the thing. And so it's important that you understand what the essence of your dream is, or the essence of your miracle. Right, in this case, it was about understanding Jesus was moved in this place of compassion and wanted to see everyone fed, everyone satisfied, everyone satiated. And so going back to that essence, then looking up to heaven, in his mind's eye, he saw that as done. He saw that happening. He saw not just the people eating in the present, but actually they're already done. He saw them packing up the goodie bags, taking the extras, and going home. That's what the space of visualization is asking you to do, right? And asking you to step into. And so you see it as already done. You see it as have already happened. And so when you think about that, you can think about what would be, it's not just the in the moment. Again, to use this specific miracle, right? It's not just about seeing thousands of people eating food. What do people look like after they've dined sufficiently? Right? You see them, again, taking the doggy bags with them, taking the extras with them. You see them smiling and laughing, right? You just see them feeling good. That's the space that you put your mind. See it as if it's already occurred. Now, I want to take a familiar phrase and turn it on its head. There's a common phrase that we all know and we've all heard: seeing is believing. And we recognize that this is a problematic phrase, right? Because it places the onus of belief on having seen or experienced a thing in order to believe it. And if we have to have seen something or experienced it, we may be in trouble, because you may be in an experience right now where you need $100,000 tomorrow. And if you've never seen or experienced $100,000 materialize in 24 hours or less, then you would not be able to believe that it is possible. And so we recognize that seeing in order to believe is not faith. The text tells us that faith is the substance of things, what? Not seen. Right? And that idea of substance is important, because substance is that which stands under and supports. Faith then is the firm foundation upon which that which is not seen or has not been experienced can be seen and can be experienced. But again, I want to turn this phrase on its head, because actually metaphysically, and in the context of what we're talking about today, this phrase is true. Seeing is believing, but only when you see with your mind's eye. Seeing is believing, but only when you see with your inner eye. Take a breath, take a breath, take a breath. Because this can change your life. Yes, you need to see it, but not with your physical eyes. Yes, you need to feel it, but not with your physical senses. Yes, you need to taste it, but not with your physical sense of taste. Yes, you need to touch it, but not with your physical sense of touch. Seeing is believing, but only when you see with your mind's eye. Seeing is believing when you see with your inner eye. So in truth, you must see it in order to believe it. You cannot outpicture it in your life if you do not see it within your mind, if you do not visualize it, because this seeing that we're talking about, looking up to heaven, rising up and recovering your sight, seeing again, rising up your consciousness to the seat of power, elevating it to the place of, I love these words, happiness, power, and eternity. It is no longer possible at that point. It is no longer probable at that point. It is inevitable when you see it in your mind's eye. You must believe it in order to see it in your life, in your world, and in your affairs. We know that. And so this idea that faith is the substance, right? God is substance. And so that idea of substance, there has to be something tangible. The tangible thing is in your mind, right? If I ask you to think of a house, all of you will think of a house. It may be different, but that house is, because it is in your mind. So seeing is believing, but only when you see with your inner eye. The seeing must take place beyond the physical. The seeing must take place in the non-physical. The seeing must take place in your mind. And this reminds me of something that I heard Reverend Michael Beckwith say. It's in the life visioning process in the audio series. And I remember this is so many years ago. I used to listen to this on repeat. I used to just I had a speaker on my nightstand next to my bed, and I used to just let it play. And there's something that he says in that teaching that sounded cool, but I never really understood what it meant at the time. He said, you don't see because you have eyes because you see. And what this is pointing us to, there's a couple things that it's pointing us to. One, the understanding of as within, as above, so below, as below, so above. So if sight or seeing or eyes exist here in the physical world, they are an effect of something that exists in the non-physical. So if you have eyes, whether you're, in this case, it doesn't even matter if you may be visually impaired. If you have eyes in the physical, that means that you have eyes, you have sight in the non-physical. And so regardless of how your eyesight may be working, I'm wearing glasses, right? Regardless of how your eyesight is working out here in the physical, you have perfect eyesight in the non-physical. And so you don't see because you have eyes. You have eyes because you see. So your sight is not based on what's happening in the physical. And this is what seeing something better is all about. And this is what this visualizing is really all about. It's asking you to tap into your real sight, to recover, to regain your sight. Again, that's right in the text. I'm not embellishing it. I'm not making it up. That's the word. Anaplepo. That's the Greek word. To see again, to regain and recover sight. And then Eric Butterworth writes this. He said, the law is that things become to you that which you see them as being. He ain't talking about your physical eyes. Things become to you according to how you see them. Again, not how you see them with your physical eyes. Because in truth, we are always seeing with our non-physical eyes. We are always imagining with our non-physical eyes. We are always creating with our non-physical eyes. And so the miracle requires you to see what you want to see. Because things become as you see them. This is why then worry is the misuse of imagination. Because you're seeing them as you don't want them to be. Right? Worry is actually, you're looking up to heaven. You're using the spiritual power, faculty that you have to imagine worst case scenarios. I've shared this story many times, and for those of you who can go to YouTube and watch it, in the affirmative prayer class, intro to affirmative prayer class, I share a prayer that I prayed for my sister. And this is when she was in labor with my niece, Nia, and there were some complications, and it was touch and go. It was very scary. And I remember that I was misusing my mind's eye because I was starting to see and create a scenario that didn't exist. I was seeing my brother-in-law as a widower and, oh, how sad and terrible that was going to be. But thankfully, I came to myself. I caught myself. I said, wait, hold up. What in the world? What am I doing? What am I creating? And so then I used the spiritual technology of affirmative prayer to see what it was that I wanted to see, to change my mental picture. And of course, she moved through that process easily and effortlessly. And my niece Nia is thriving and all is well. It reminds me in the masterclass this summer, Open Your Mind to Prosperity, we talked about the idea of seeing our loved ones well. And Catherine Ponder, she shared the story of the woman whose nephew was undergoing brain surgery. Y'all remember that? In her case, she made a wheel of fortune, right? She used pictures and images on the external in order to picture him perfect, whole, and complete, right? She used affirmative thoughts. You express radiant health. Miracle healings happen now. Billy, you are sound in mind, body, and affairs. Thank you, God, for restoring Billy. A joyful day is at hand, right? And so it's absolutely possible. And I think I would consider this sort of an entry step. If you're finding trouble visualizing, if you're finding trouble closing your eyes and trying to do a solely mental process, right? Use pictures to impress your mind, right? But use it in a very specific and deliberate way, as this woman did, because she was just like I was. She was running down the path of fear, doubt, and worry. She was misusing her imagination, right? And she recognized, she came to herself and recognized that she needed to look up to heaven. And so her inspired idea was to take pictures of him, right, and then add these affirmations. And so as she would look at that and see that was starting to shift and change her mental picture, right? And I would encourage you to do something like that, but then take some time to actually sit in the stillness to start to instill that into your subconscious mind. Things become to you as you see them being. So see something better. Now, one practical piece. You may be thinking, you may be asking, PG, what do I do about doubt and fear when it creeps in? I've tried doing this visualization stuff. I've tried doing something similar to what you're saying, PG. But after a while, I start to think about how it won't work. Or after a while, I start to get fearful. Will it really happen for me? Oh, maybe other people can do it. Maybe you can do it. Maybe PY can do it. Maybe the testimonies that y'all share, they're special. But I don't know if it's going to work for me. Well, the first thing I said, get in and get out. And what's so interesting is urgency helps us do that, right? A lot of times urgency helps us tap into exactly what it is that we want to see, and to see that in our mind's eye, right? And that's what was happening in the moment of this miracle story, right? There was an immediate need, right? It had to happen now. Jesus didn't have time to go off, right, and get himself together and then come back, right? And so many times, again, that urgency is what allows us to see it. But what I always advise is to get in and get out. So again, set a timer, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes max. To see it, to feel it, right? And again, to see it done, to see the outcome, not just the act or the action. I think that's important, but see the whole outcome. What is the aftermath, right? What does that experience create? Step into that world. But when the doubt and the fear creep in, don't fight it. This is the principle of non-resistance. What you do is when the doubt and fear shows up, you see it and you say, oh yeah, right. Fear, doubt, worry is showing up. Okay. I hand you over to infinite intelligence. It's not your job to handle fear, doubt, and worry. It's your job to learn how to give it up and give it over to source. And it's so powerful because you're already in that space, right? You've already risen up in consciousness. You're already in that space. You've already in this place of regaining and recovering sight and seeing again. You're already in this space in Uranus, in heaven, happiness, power, eternality. And so in that space, it's not my job to fight fear, doubt, and worry. I hand it over. I turn it over. I hand it over to infinite intelligence. In the 12 Conditions of a Miracle, Todd Michael writes this: once you become conscious of a doubt and turn it over to spirit, it immediately ceases to generate effects within your reality, even though it may continue to run through your mind. This is the only effective strategy to handling doubt. Because anything else, what does the principle say, right? What you resist does what? It persists. Yes, yes. So at the moment that any of that shows up, it is your opportunity to move into non-resistance. Non-resistance is not a giving up in the sense of, oh no, all is lost. It is a turning it over to power. It is a turning it over to that which transmutes any and everything. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed, but changed and transmuted. You're not the one that does the change or the transmuting. So hand it over to infinite intelligence. So let's review in closing. The 6th condition is grounding, and the 7th condition is visualizing. Get present, then visualize. But this is more than just imagining you're good or imagining a positive outcome. As we read in the verse, taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, he looked up to heaven. Look up means to regain sight, receive sight, see again. This is looking with your spiritual eyes. This sight does not care what the external world shows. And where are we looking? We're looking to heaven. We're looking to Uranus. And so this is inviting us to elevate our minds to the place of power. Your mind must be on source as you see the miracle. See something better. See it before you see it. And what's so powerful about this, in the book Consciousness is All There Is, Dr. Tony Nader, he talks about operating at this level of consciousness. And he says that thought at this level can move mountains. And that's very important because I think so often you may hear this and you're like, it sounds good, but I got stuff that needs to happen. And what you must learn and understand, and this is what Jesus the Christ, the teaching and the embodiment of Jesus the Christ is reminding us and inviting us to live as, that you don't have to force things, you don't have to push, you don't have to operate at the sweat of your brow, you don't have to make things happen, because thought at this level of consciousness can and does move mountains. We have the words in the mouth of Jesus, the faith of a mustard seed, the size of a mustard seed, can move mountains, right? We recognize this to be true. But the only way you really will know it's true is if you take the step to actually try it, the willingness to try it. And then when doubt, fear, worry creeps in, don't fight it. What you resist persists. Turn it over to infinite intelligence. Turn it over to the manager, as Abraham Hicks advises, and asking it is given. Turn it over, as Mae McCarthy writes in her book, to the chief spiritual officer. I know I am prepared for my miracle when I am present. And once you get present, close your outer eye and see something better. Close your outer eye and visualize. Close your outer eye and look up to heaven. Rise up in consciousness and see again. Recover your sight. Regain your sight and see again. Go to that place of happiness, that place of power, the place of eternity. Go to the origin, the primordial source, Uranus. Go to the kingdom of heaven, the realm of everlasting ideas. Go to the place of good and see good. I am so grateful and thankful for this teaching. I am so grateful and thankful for this lesson. Make it the truth of your life today and prosper. From this place of awareness, I simply say amen, ashe, and so it is.
Go to the level of everlasting good and see good. See something better.
Yes, yes.
Better than what you even ever imagined better. You see, we get stuck in our ideas of what it's supposed to be, how it's supposed to work, and on it goes. And if it is going to work, and because it didn't work before, that's not the level of everlasting good. That's the level of your control. That's the level of your understanding. See something better. You'll know the difference by the way you feel. If you're in this idea and vibrating in this understanding of a deeper vision of your life or whatever it is, it will feel good. You will not be in worry, doubt, and fear. And if you find yourself in worry, doubt, and fear, get in and get out. PG said it. Turn it over. Get in and get out. Don't get in and be, oh, Lord, what did I do and how did I get here? Get in and get out. Turn it over and get out. Mm-hmm. You don't judge what you're feeling in that moment. You just get out. Mm-hmm. And you leave it up to eternal goodness to figure out.
Yes, yes.
Come back to this message. He gave you some really practical ways to see something better.
Yes, yes.
And we want you to see something better.
Yes.
We show up every week so that you remember, I can see something better.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, PG.
Oh, yes. You're welcome. You're welcome. So in this moment, it is time for giving. You see the information on your screen. You've seen it throughout the stream. It's very easy to give to CSC. You can go to our website, celebrationsc.org/give, or you can text your dollar amount to 347-744-9500. There's a $10 minimum to text to give. You can also go to the church app and give via the Church Center app. Whichever means or mode that you choose to give, that is your business. That's all good. What we are most concerned with is the consciousness behind your giving. Because what we recognize is that the power of giving, and it is a spiritual practice, the power that you experience and will benefit from that practice has to do with the thinking that is behind the giving, because it is your thinking that makes it so. And so if your thinking is rooted in fear, doubt, and worry, that is then what you're giving will be an expression of, and then co-create in your life. If your giving is behind your giving is any shame, then that's what you're actually giving to life, and then that's what life is going to reflect back to you. And so this is why we say give what feels good. This is why we say find your joy number, right? And that number today, for whatever reason, might be a different number than it was last week, and it'll be next month. What is the number that you're able to feel absolutely good in the giving of it, right? Because that then is what you're going to be planting into the ground of life, and life is going to be giving back to you. And when you're able to consciously and intentionally give from a place of good, give from a place of joy, then you can absolutely affirm this truth, because it is true and will become the truth of your life. All the money that I circulate, returns to me multiplied. In a never-ending cycle. Of increase. And enjoyment. To that we say amen. Ashe. And so it is. So it must be. Yes. We are grateful and thankful for all of your gifts to CSC, all of your giving to CSC. It supports Celebration Spiritual Center in continuing to be what it was created to be, continue to be an empowering lighthouse on this planet, and continue to bring this enlivening and liberating message to the world. I love to think about it. There was someone that gave years ago before you or many of you found CSC, right? And so that's the beauty of what we support and what we co-create as we ensure that CSC is able to do what it does for years and years to come. So we've reached the end of our service today, and we are so grateful and thankful to just be here together. And of course, it is God Talk Sunday, so we look forward to seeing your faces in Zoom as we gather together for the God Talk. You can download the Church Center app. As you see the information on your screen, the information is inside the app. You can also join our mailing list by texting WELCOME to 347-472-1078. After you submit all your information, go to your inbox and you'll receive an email with the God Talk link. So we look forward to you joining us at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those that aren't able to join us for the God Talk today, we look forward to connecting on Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Momentum Prayer Call. And then we will all be together again next Sunday for Healing Sunday. For another powerful weekend service. Again, keep your eyes and ears open. We will be sending out that submission form for you to submit your name or the name of others that you want to put in the circle for prayer, and we will speak their names in the Healing Sunday prayer, knowing that healing is available for each and every one of us, and that radiant health is our birthright. So from this place of awareness, we say amen, ashe, and so it is. We love and appreciate you. Enjoy the remainder of your Sunday. Bye for now.